Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Booth, along with Anita Vogel, Guy Benson, and Charlie Hurt, and welcome to the Big Weekend Show. The big story tonight, Donald Trump's grandkids steal the show.
I alluded to it. A very important member of my family, far more important than Eric or Laura. And her name is Carolina.
Make American great again.
Would anybody like to meet Luke, her brother?
Vote for Grandpa.
That's really cute. All right, well, Trump brought his grandkids onto the stage in a heartwarming moment at a massive rally in Battleground, North Carolina, as Trump took on his winning issues, including the economy and immigration. And today, early voting begins in 7 states: New Jersey, Vermont, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Delaware, Indiana, and Tennessee. And Fox News correspondent Alexandria Hoff is live in Wilmington, North Carolina, where Trump held his rally today. Alex.
Hi, good to be with you. Sorry, we just had a gust of wind here impact some of our lighting. But yeah, I mean, this was a sun-scorched crowd out there, but this was a group that had been waiting for the former president for quite some time. He had an event in April that had to be rescheduled because of weather, so many were glad to be here today. And while the former president touched on an array of issues, the economy was certainly the focus.
We will massively cut taxes for workers. We will have no tax on tips. We will have no tax on overtime. And no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. While working Americans catch up, we're going to put a temporary cap on interest rates on credit card debt at 10%. Some people are paying 25 and 30%. It's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people there could relate with that. North Carolina, you know, it's an important stop to make. Trump won the state in 2016 and 2020, but it has become more competitive, and Democrats see that as an opportunity.
If you cast your vote for Kamala Harris, Comrade Harris, we call her Comrade, you're voting for 4 more years of brutal job losses, higher taxes, surging prices, falling wages, and economic depression and despair. If Kamala Harris is reelected, she will kill the American dream forever.
Yeah, so Trump spoke about what he sees as the economic and safety impact of open borders. Listen to this.
I am your border president. Your border president. Kamala would be your invasion president. In July, an illegal alien who border czar Harris released him, special order, into our country, was arrested for stalking a woman into a public bathroom in Charlotte and attempting to rape her and ultimately rape her and hurt her very badly. Here in Wilmington last month, an illegal alien from Venezuela brutally stabbed a man to death. This murder came just 4 days after he was arrested for horrible domestic violence. But instead of being deported, this criminal alien was released to kill again. Kill again he did.
So the former president announced here today in Wilmington that if he is reelected, he will end sanctuary cities in the state. The former president also confirmed that he will not be doing a second debate with Vice President Harris. Guys.
Thank you. All right, I want to take it out to the table. You know, Charlie, I want to look at this big picture. What do you think this election comes down to for voters?
Oh, I think, I hope it comes down to issues, because if it comes down to issues, I think Donald Trump wins and wins probably pretty handily, because he's the only one talking about the issues. If it comes down to style or some other amorphous thing that I think Democrats and Kamala Harris want it to be about, then it's going to be a whole lot harder for Donald Trump. But, you know, it's interesting, and you know, you listen to him talking about some of the atrocities that are the result of the open border because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And, you know, we sort of cringe a little bit because we don't like listening to all of that. It's not the normal fare of a political rally. But you know, if you don't watch Fox News, you don't know these stories. And what Donald Trump is up against is the rest of the press is not reporting the news about the issues that should drive people to the polls. And so he has to talk about it. And that's why I think for a lot of people, that might be the first time they get information about some of those issues, like the open border. But we could go through all the other issues as well.
You know, Anita, we've seen Donald Trump and his campaign make a play for African-American voters, trying to win, trying to earn their support. I want us to look at this, what he said about Black and Hispanic workers, how they're being hurt by illegal immigrants and taking jobs. He said this. Let's take a listen real quick.
Kamala Harris's border invasion is also crushing the jobs and wages of African-American workers and Hispanic-American workers. They're taking your jobs. They're taking your jobs. The migrants picked up 635,000 jobs, plus another 700,000 or 800,000 jobs, at least, that we know of.
Here's some quotes from those voters that he's trying to reach. These are some undecided Black voters. One woman said this. She said he is still has a business mindset. I think he just handles certain things a little better. One man said he provided more jobs, more opportunities, stimulus. Another man said, even though Trump didn't make all the right choices, the economy just worked better under him. So sort of universally there, at least with these quotes, focused on the economy, largely and believing that he's the guy to deliver that. So, I mean, how do you think that play for African-American voters, these Black voters, is going to work out for them?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen this. We've highlighted African-American voters in Chicago in particular who have said, hey, wait a minute, why are the state and federal resources going to this community of illegal migrants instead of us? I mean, they have spoken out time and time again. And in the beginning, that was a little bit shocking to see. But when you hear from those people, it comes down to the economy and, how best does the economy work for them? When you talk about undecided voters in general, it's a dwindling number of people, Lisa. I've read where it's as low as 3%. So that right there, that's the key to the election right there.
Well, yeah, all these elections come down to the margins, so we'll see if that gives them a little bit push in the winning direction. Guy, I want to get you on Virginia. So there's this new poll in the state of Virginia showing that Harris is up at 47%. Trump at 46%, so a margin of error race right there. I believe that's the University of William and Mary poll. I wanted to, you look at the Real Clear Politics average in the state of Virginia, they have Harris outside of the margin of error. Do you think, is this poll an outlier or is Virginia in play? And then if Virginia is in play, what does that say about the state of the race?
So it's this University of Mary Washington poll
that
some people are noting was sort of early to the party, showing Glenn Youngkin surging in 2021 when other pollsters had him still lagging. Of course, he won that race. So you can maybe cite some credibility there. However, this particular poll is pretty old. It was in the field before the debate even happened. So right now, I would call it an outlier. If we see other polling showing Virginia more competitive, then, my antenna will go up a little bit more. I spoke to Governor Youngkin just yesterday on my radio show. He called the state competitive at the presidential level. There's a big Senate race there as well, some key House races in Virginia as well. So we'll keep an eye on it, certainly. It's not near that upper echelon of battleground states, I would say. If it comes back into that category, that's a big problem for the Democrats.
Well, and we'll see, too, with campaign travel, what that looks like to the state of Virginia moving ahead as well. All right, I want to get to this as well. Meantime, Harris is now accepting the invite for CNN for another debate.
And in our debate last week, well, that was fun. And I know everyone here paid attention to the words, though, the words, right? I'm trying to get another debate. We'll see.
But today in North Carolina, Trump said it's not going to happen.
The problem with another debate is that it's just too late. Voting has already started. I'd love to in many ways, but it's too late. The voting is cast.
Charlie, why would he set himself up for another ambush?
Yeah, especially with somebody like CNN. We already know how liberal CNN is, and he's not going to get a fair shake. The big picture sort of analysis of debates always is the weaker person always wants the debate, and it proves, I think, that Kamala Harris failed to do what she needed to do in that first debate, and that's why she wants to have a second one.
Guy?
Well, she has an opportunity to debate Donald Trump on Fox News, and she won't accept that. She won't accept any invitation to come on this network and do interviews here or really anywhere else. Right. She's done one nationally televised interview, one, with her running mate. Still, she's been the candidate for 2 months. So I think that says a lot. I think Trump would probably be better served saying, I'm open to maybe a second debate if she does half a dozen interviews and she can pick from this list of journalists. And let's see if she can answer a follow-up question. And then maybe we'll talk about a second debate.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Lisa, and by the way, I've heard Brett and Martha about 10 times say, right, we're open to a Fox News debate. We'd love to host one. But if you're Donald Trump and the debate didn't move the needle at all, and the moderators are fact-checking him but not fact-checking her, why put yourself through that again? The race is largely unchanged after that first debate, so why do another?
Yeah, the Media Research Center had ABC's coverage of Kamala Harris at 100% positive leading up to the debate. And that was reflected in the debate.
I love Guy's idea. I think it's a really good.
And by the way, people are like, oh, Trump only wants to do one debate. I'm sorry, he's done 2 debates.
Yeah.
He debated Joe Biden and knocked him out of the race.
He sure did.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.